So one look at the charts and it seems pretty obvious what's happening right now. A second ban wave has hit the towers, and ban waves usually signal good things to come, and that's of course for a few different reasons. But on top of the ban waves, a few other developments are happening that signal a very good future for both the Armory and the CS market. Welcome back to the Armory Report. Now I know there isn't much to report on in terms of the actual Armory right now, but the general concept of it has some pretty interesting things going on to it. When ban waves happen, it usually happens before or right after a new cosmetic change, the last one of which was in early March. Now we did think this one was because of a imminent Armory update, as it lined up pretty much perfectly with last year's Armory updates on April 1st. However, as we know, we didn't get that, but we did receive that ban wave right after the Dead Hand terminal was released. And with the terminal system and how it operates, how it functions, how it charges based off of demand, when the terminal is new and there's less in supply, prices can be higher and they're justifiably higher. So banning bots here by Valve was a good move, because the less bots that are playing, the less terminals that are initially supplied, which keeps prices a little bit higher for a little bit longer, which leads to higher prices on the terminal, higher prices on the Steam market for the weapons that are purchased from the terminal, and higher prices for the terminal itself. And as we know, Valve gets 15% of each case. Skins.com is the newest sponsor on our channel. They have just released a P2P trading platform looking to compete with the best players in the space. If you don't want to wait that long, they do have an insta-sell feature on the site in which the rates are the best I've seen, just straight up. When the market is down, everything is on sale, and with the deals you're getting on skins.com, you could start your position basically up 20 to 25%. Try out skins.com and be a part of the future of CS2 skin trading. Transacted, each skin transacted a week later, and each skin purchased from the terminal. So the terminals do incentivize Valve not having bots as present as they were with cases. Cases, they preferred cases being cheaper, such that people would buy keys, because the keys you could just buy as many as you want. The cases need to be supplied, and for more people to buy them, you would like them to be cheaper. And we got that ban wave again yesterday. Chinese bot farms were reportedly getting banned en masse. I imagine they were expecting it at this point in time, so I don't know how much of their inventories got actually wiped out from this ban wave, but we can imagine some of it was. And that's a good thing for your ROI when the Armory rotation does happen, because I imagine this signals the Armory rotation, the new season's coming, the Aphrodite's being rotated out, the Major's ending. It does seem like a good time for the Armory to be rotated. I mean, as good as ever. Right now, all of the collections in the Armory, I'm pretty sure, sit under 100% ROI. Now again, a lot of you are up in arms about this, but this is completely insane. You cannot expect everything to be over 100% ROI. It's just a crazy take, I'm sorry. Hear me out before you comment some dumb shit. The cases on average are 50 to 60% ROI. Most of that ROI is coming from your knife. On average, you can expect like a 5% return on your case opening. Yet, they still get open because it's the chance of a high ROI return item, not the chance of a blue that defines 80% of your case openings. The same thing happens with the Armory. The ROI number means pretty much nothing when you're opening 5 Armory collections at once. But over time, if you can expect a positive return on redemptions, then there's going to be oversupply no matter what. For a while, the M4 Fade was $700, $600, and the ROI was like 110%, meaning that if you opened Infinity Sport and Field collections, right, or approached Infinity, your ROI would give you a net 10% return. If you are offered something that if you just keep going, promises 10% returns over time, well then you're going to keep opening it, and it's going to lead to oversupply. And when bots are existing, and when you have bots existing, the 110% ROI is basically asking them to go bot farm, go star farm, and go redeem, because they're getting 10% on top of what they're already making. If you want bots to go away, you want ROI to be lower. Not all of the time, you want unboxing ROI to be lower, not investing ROI. Investing ROI goes up when unboxing ROI goes down, because less people unbox them, which means that when it gets discontinued, a year from now, your investing ROI will be higher because there's less in supply. Case skins like the Winter Offensive, the Chroma cases, they're finally starting to go up, but it's been 5-6 years since they were really the main case in the game. Is that a bad thing? Not necessarily, because you want those skins to appreciate, but you don't want them to appreciate immediately, because if they appreciated immediately, you could just open cases, ad infinitum, and then get a return, but then there's going to be oversupply, and then you're not going to see that investing ROI that happens a year, 2 years from now. You want to reward the people who stay. You don't want to reward the people who just open fucking cases. So if you have over 100% ROI, you have chronic oversupply from not only players, but from bots who have a profit incentive They're literally getting paid to play the game. When you have under 100% ROI, you have less unboxings. Bots don't have a profitable way to actually go about the armory, because when you open enough cases, you could pretty much expect ROI to be a pretty firm number. So supply will stay lower, which means that it will go up in time, or have a faster path, easier path to going up over time. You can't build a system that pays you to game it and then get mad when there's oversupply. A healthy system runs a decent amount of ROI, a decent promise of ROI, then it gets redeemed, then it falls under 100 ROI, and then that cycle repeats itself. Just having it at 120 for 10 months is not going to do well for the supply of the actual collection. And beyond the ban waves, Valve has taken an extra step with their gift card system. Steam gift cards are a staple of pretty much any pharmacy you walk in. I remember my mom would give me lunch money. I would go take my lunch money, put it in my pocket, save up throughout the week, and buy a Steam card on Friday every single week. And we would go buy our skins on Saturday night and play CS all weekend. Great memory, but these gift cards needed to go ultimately. It's simply not a piece of any person's childhood anymore. Most parents are comfortable spending their money online with credit cards and debit cards, so the Steam gift card is not really a super well-needed thing anymore. Digital ones are still going to be available, just that the physical ones, once they run out, will not be resupplied ever again. It's not really sentiment driving it though, but I'm sure there's probably less demand for them nowadays. What it is simply is illegal activity. Laundering goes on with these Steam gift cards, and it leads downstream to those bot farms. You take a stolen credit card. You buy a bunch of Steam cards with that stolen credit card, then you sell it all for cash. You turn that dirty, stolen credit card money into clean cash. The player uses those cards to supply their bot farms. Let's say they buy $400 worth of Steam funds for $300. That's 75% of the actual value, which means you're pretty much arbitraging the market before you even start. Combine that with a 110% ROI, and you can see it's an actual pretty profitable business. This gets rid of at least 25% of that right on top, which is going to stop some bot farms completely. Not all of them, but places where it's more costly to have a bot farm room, more costly to pay for the power, that's where it's going to hurt. All Valve is doing is increasing the pricing of those margins. It's going to be harder to buy gift cards. It's going to be harder to get Steam funds for cheaper than what they actually are. And this is not Valve's first rodeo. Remember when Valve had keys in the game as tradable items, and it was used basically as the currency that defined trading? Well, almost every key on the market came from this type of illegal activity, based on and sourced from fraudulent activity. On top of this, and it's why you saw such crazy oversupply with some sticker majors when hype was surrounding the game in 2020, 2023, etc. So now bot farms cost more to run, and now they're receiving less ROI guaranteed from the Armory, which means that their only real active channel that pays is active weekly drops, or running the bot farms and then selling the accounts with the Armory passes on them already earned. But that's not the only development. But that's not the only thing going on. A recent exploit was discovered to have been found regarding CSGO, CS2, and the Prime account Prime key situation. There was a game, it was called Best Fighter from a Russian developer, and it used Steam's own tools. It was an exploit that allowed you to change that Steam key and the ID of the actual game to a CSGO Prime key, which transferred over into CS2, which meant that there was an unknown amount of Prime accounts that were used and purchased for free. So while it hasn't explicitly drove the ban wave, and we can attest the ban wave to the Armory rotation coming, this may certainly be a reason. Valve likes their money, and they don't really care if the bot farms are there to a degree if they're paying $15 per every account and $15 for every Armory pass. But if you're not paying $15 for every Armory pass, all of the Armory passes are credited through fraudulent activity, and all of the Prime accounts are free, well then Valve is going to have a problem with that, and that is when Valve starts to ban people. So the ban wave could be from one of these exploits directly. So there is no discounting that. Now it looks like that problem has been fixed, the actual Prime key situation, but the fact that it did exist meant that that is loss of money for Valve, and Valve don't like that. Because Valve isn't just banning people for any reason. They'd rather get rid of the underlying reasons why people are farming rather than ban the farmers themselves. It's just an easier way to go about things. What has to happen? It needs to become more expensive to bot farm, and it needs to be less profitable to bot farm. How do you do that? You lower ROI, you lower channels in which to get Steam funds for cheaper, such as money laundering, stolen credit cards, scams, fraud, and you patch exploits that don't allow you to get Prime accounts for free and get your bot farming accounts started up for a cheaper cost. if you can still profit after startup costs, after Armory Pass ROI, after changes have been made to how Steam funds are actually generated, well then they'll probably let you just farm. They'll still ban you before every single cosmetic update, but if you're fast enough, you're quick enough, and you run your account smartly, well, you'll probably be fine. But all of those three things in tandem are going to pretty much wipe a lot of bot farmers out just because it isn't going to be profitable any longer. They're probably going to have to change some things. I'm sure new loopholes, new exploits will be found, but it will take a longer time, and eventually over time it's just going to not be profitable enough for bot farms to justify being there, at least in mass, at least to the degree in which they are right now. That spells good things for you, because the Armory ROI is going to be, that means Armory investing ROI will be higher, not necessarily case opening ROI, but investing ROI will be higher. But you'll still have the bots that supply active weekly drops and things like that, which means those prices will be relatively cheap and not overly expensive. Valve wins. Valve still makes their money off of the Armory passes bought. They still make money off of the gift cards purchased. They still make money off of all of the Prime accounts that are sold. So not only is this a good outlook for the Armory itself next rotation, but it is a good look. But it is a good look for just the general state of the game, right? You can play fucking Valve Deathmatch now because people apparently like that shit. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I think this is going to be a positive change ultimately. People are disenfranchised by the current Armory rotation, which means they'll probably invest less in the next Armory rotation. That one's going to provide good returns, and then this cycle will repeat itself. Oversupply, undersupply, oversupply, undersupply. It's just kind of how it goes. Sort of like the RMR Stockholm 2021 situation with these stickers. That's all. Peace. So I'm streaming the major right now. Come watch Falcons vs. Spirit. Go Nico.